So hello everyone, my name is Morgane Keesling. As you said, I'm the Senior Manager of Creative Development for our entertainment team here at Disneyland Paris. My journey started in January here at Disneyland Paris, but I started with Disney in 2015. I'm actually an artist. I started as a concept illustrator and background illustrator for Disney Publishing, and from there I've moved on to work on theme park attractions, animatronics, all sorts of research and development and technologies, shows, museums, all sorts of fun stuff. But my dream was always to come here and work at Disneyland Paris, because this is the first Disney park I've ever been to. So I'm really excited to be here and to talk about this project and to meet you all.
We recently announced the arrival of a brand new show, Disney Tale of Magic, and it's a show that you are currently working on. Can you tell us more about it?
Absolutely. So Disney Tale of Magic is our new nighttime spectacular on the Sleeping Beauty Castle. It's opening on January 10th, so just a few weeks away. I think for us, it really brings together creativity, technological advancements, wonderful things in that, as well as the thing that's at the heart of everything we do, which is impactful storytelling. So we're so excited for you all to discover this show, and hopefully we're going to talk a little bit about what's inside, yeah, we cannot wait. Just a couple weeks away, and yeah.
So you worked with Tim Larkin on the creation of this new nighttime show spectacular. What was your vision of it?
So for me, it was super important with Tim Larkin being the creative director of the project, Sarah Wordsworth bringing in her wonderful script, and then of course my responsibility, which is our creative teams, bringing everybody together to tell this story in the best way that we possibly can, because Disney magic is different than any magic in the world, and to uphold that is a big responsibility.
Magic and emotions have very important places in our story, so how did you bring that to the show?
So the show starts with the reminder of yourself of the first time that you felt magic. So if you're thinking about that, however many people we have in the room right now, everybody has a different story. So for me, magic is something that I feel, and it is something we talk about in the show, that magic comes to people in different ways. And so what we explore in the show are 5 chapters of this. So we have when you follow your dreams, we have when you journey with your friends, because that magic is so much fun. Of course, when you fall in love, it wouldn't be Disney magic if we didn't have that as well. And then when you remember your loved ones, which for me is very impactful, and we'll talk a little bit later, but some of my favorite moments in the show fall in that chapter. And then when you feel accepted, I think this is also just something so deep for a lot of people. And then we end with basically a lesson, in that it is our responsibility to share the magic, that we got to share this moment together, and that we can all go on at the end of our day and whatever we do tomorrow and share the magic that we experienced and keep it going.
Another question. For the very first time, this show will be a mix of projection on Sleepy Beauty Castle, drones, and now projection on Main Street, USA. Can you tell us more?
Of course. I love technology. I love talking about technology, and it's one of the things I'm the most excited about with this show. We have 20 new projectors. We have, and those projectors are actually 4 times brighter than any projection we've ever had here. So what you're going to see is going to be the most clear, beautiful thing ever. We have 400 architectural lights that we are adding all around us. I mean, from a projection standpoint, we also have, we're projecting on Main Street for the first time, and we have light effects and sound effects. The show is incredibly immersive. So from a tech side, it's super, super exciting to work on.
So this show is a really mix of new technology. Can you tell us more also about them?
Well, I think one of the more interesting things that sets the show apart from things we've done in the past is actually that we are projecting on Main Street for the very first time. It has been such a pleasure to bring that into the show. I mean, it means that no matter where you're standing, you are in the world. Not only are you seeing what the story is on the castle, but you're seeing it everywhere around you. And as I mentioned, those soundscapes, all of the extra tech that we have added is super cool. And it plays a really big part in really transporting you, because the story is so intense and so wonderful, and you're really living it. And when you get to see and feel it visually, it's magnificent. So we are very excited about that Main Street projection.
So it's a mix of technology, but you went back the very essence of animation with drawing that were done by hand.
So the Walt Disney Company started as an animation studio, and it's been such a pleasure on this project to uphold, and a huge responsibility to uphold the legacy of Walt Disney through some of the hand-drawn animation that we've included in this show. I think we can all say that we don't see a lot of hand-drawn animation anymore, and so it's incredibly special to work with the Walt Disney Animation Studio to create custom animation, rotoscoped. I really enjoyed this process. I'm an animation professor as well, and so getting to touch this media that not a lot of people get to anymore has been personally a really rewarding part of this experience. And our show is bookended by this very special animation, and it's super emotional every time I see it.
So this show is really a journey through emotion. What is your favorite chapter?
I think remembering your loved ones, as I mentioned a little earlier, is one of my absolute favorites. There's a sequence that I'm just going to tell you all right now. It makes me cry every single time we see it. It's so special, and it's very moving. What I also wanted to mention is I have this personal connection as well, because we talked about some of the animation. You'll be seeing the Blue Fairy at the beginning and at the end of the entire show. And the Blue Fairy for me is very significant because, as I mentioned, I got here in January, and Tim Letkin, the creative director of the show, was one of the first people I met when I got here. I didn't know anybody. Tim walked into my office and he presented me with a sculpture of the Blue Fairy, and he gave it to me to watch over me in my office, and it makes me so happy every single time I go and sit at my desk. I sit there and I see the Blue Fairy, which she's present in the show. She's a big part of the story, and I just think of all of those points of coming together, bringing everything together to realize this. It's so impactful, and so while that in itself isn't a chapter of the show, it's one of the personal connections that I take away, and I think that's what makes it special, is that everybody here, beyond the 5 chapters that we've defined, really, you're each going to take away something that feels so special to you, I hope.
Well, thank you very much, Morgane. I had to see the rehearsals of the show with Jose and some of the teams, and yeah, it was something. Like, I saw Jose crying, so if you see Jose crying, it's because it's full of emotion.
Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy. So excited for you all to experience.
Et on se donne rendez-vous le 10 janvier.
Yep, see you on the 10th of January.
Merci.